to the professionals.
Last by Bungie, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been golden when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Refuse not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Freaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits, yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the drive with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
It wasn't that it changed my audio input. It decided not to unmute me. I love StreamYard. It's great. It's very intuitive. But sometimes it just, there's no rhyme or reason. You still can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay, we're good now. Thanks, Mayhem, Lawyer, SWATs 2000, Red Reviews. One of these days, I will at least stick the opening. Like one of these days, I'll at least nail a perfect opening. I'm not saying I'm giving up because I am a competitor, and it might be like show 10,000, but we will run pure for an entire 120 minutes one of these mornings. It's not going to be today, but I was feeling good, hot opening there. Jumped right into it. only to find out that our YouTube family couldn't hear anything I was saying. That said, we are live on YouTube as well as Abstract, X Audio, and X Video. And I think everything is unmuted. I believe all the audio outputs are correct. And so we are now live. Stumbling along, stubbing my toes. Yeah, new PFP throws people off. Someone asked if I left the club. No, I'm not going anywhere. Just going to have a new Thursday ritual. We're going to give new other alternative PFPs a spin every Thursday morning. And someone suggested that I rock my Good Vibes Club honorary next Thursday. So I'm going to be doing that. I may take further nominations, suggestions, and so next Thursday is spoken for. We're going to be rocking the Good Vibes Club honorary. What should I rock on the following Thursday? It would be the second Thursday in September. Let me know in the chat what PFP. And it's not just, it can't be a random PFP. It has to be a PFP that, I mean, honoraries are great. If you have a PFP collection that you'd like me to support, my love can be bought with an honorary. Maybe I should probably hold I should probably hold the option of respectively declining, but my love definitely can be bought. If you want to gift me a few mints and an honorary, that'll definitely rock your PFP on a Thursday morning. But outside of that, any PFPs that I hold, honorary or otherwise, that you'd like me to take a spin on a Thursday morning, let me know in the chat. And my apologies for anyone that's watching with your kiddos for the double profanity in the first minute of the show. I'm attempting to get better and not curse, but I'm also keeping it real, and the frustration will flow when I mean, it's no one to blame but me. Like, I can blame StreamYard, but I also been doing this long enough now to know that sometimes it's just going to decide to mute my mic unexpectedly. Sometimes it's going to decide to shift my audio input back from the Rodecaster to the MacBook mic. And while you all can hear me, the audio quality isn't great, and you can't hear any guest speakers if I'm not using the correct input. So that said, glad I could make your morning over my frustrations, Swats, but I apologize for anyone listening with kiddos without headphones in this morning. Net, I've been shouting out a few times. I still have this tab open. Some of you may not believe me, but when I find something I want to follow, I'm loosely interested in, potentially want to get a position in, I will keep a website open, keep a chart open until I make a play. I've not made a play yet, but it's back down to 920. It's below $1,000. I'm not picking on the guy, but Ansem has been a top marker, top signal thus far. He did it on Stonkbrokers. He did it on NetNet. There's probably more, but I know I'm near certain those two, he bull posted the first time, talked about it the first time he bull posted it, and I'm pretty sure marked the Pico top, at least local top for both NetNet as well as Stonkbrokers. That said, enough time has passed that anything that's got real, real legs has an opportunity to, they will recover. Like Stonkbrokers recovered. The whole ecosystem had a heck of a night. Woke up to not only Stonkbrokers back up, and I think let me double check before I say this. Wow, I was going to say one sale away from 6 ETH. That sale has happened. Floor is back to 6 ETH. The other thing, and I actually do want to break this down because I know I've said it. Could I make a $10,000 play if I wanted to? Yeah, but it would require, I would have to rotate something. I'm not sitting on 10K of dry powder at this moment. And so it would require some rotation or I have to sell something or pull liquidity out of something that I don't necessarily want to do right now. But I'm still going to give the example because like this arb, like no one has, I quite literally, I don't think a single person, I mean, I'm sure some people have played the arb game with stockbrokers. That would be wrong. I've not seen anyone play the arb game and talk about it on the timeline. Mind blowing to me, because this morning when I first looked at it, like there were, if you were liquid 10K, you could have almost, like, yes, there's risk involved, but the spread was like $1,000 on the floor. Had you made an offer and the offer hit, you could have literally bought, like I'm not saying he was going to do this. I know he wanted to get in the ecosystem and play this out, but you know, like I shared yesterday, like Steve, I think his WETH bid hit at like 4 WETH, or maybe it was 4.2. I think it was 4. And then yesterday when we talked about it, the floor is back up to 5.25. Steve could have taken that WETH bid and maybe not immediately, but this morning you could have, if anyone was dumping into bids, you could have then, the stockbroker that you bought immediately pulled out your 666,000 stockbroker tokens, which come with that NFT, and you would have made $4,000. I'm not making these numbers up. This is what the spread was this morning. It was $800 more on the floor. So even if you would have bought it at the 5.5 at the time, you could have bought that one, sold the tokens, you would have made $800. If someone would have hit a WETH bid and sold those tokens, it would have been a $4,000 flip. Like these are real numbers, and the ARB, now that the floors ran up and the WETH bids have come up, the ARB has closed. And this isn't going to be a stockbroker show, by the way. This is just top of mind. I gotta figure out how Dort has been bamboozled. This is funny. TDK says Dort has been bamboozled. He normally only collects the finest of wares. I have 55 low quality cats because I'm trying to protect Grail collectors like him from wasting their time and monies. Too funny. Dort has 3 cats in real life, so he picked up 3 low quality cats on Web3. Serendipitous for sure. This project is so effing funny. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm glad I'm doing it. I'm enjoying that element of NFT season 3. I'm also enjoying the wait. Well, let me finish this thought and then I'm gonna come back to Dobbin's comment. And I'm gonna stop sharing net because I'm done pumping things I don't I got called a cuck. I might be a lot of things. You can call me whatever names you want. A cuck, I am not. I don't play those games. Really biting my tongue now because I'm about to I was close to sharing some stories that are definitely not appropriate, especially not with kiddos in the room, but I'm not going to go there. But a cuck, I am not. I'm a lot of things. Call me whatever you want, but I'm not a cuck. But I got called a cuck and said it's just a circle jerk where I just pump my bags and other people's bags. And tell me you've never listened to the show without telling me you've never listened to the show, because quite often I pump bags. Shit, man, I've talked about Klanos and Hebrew. I feel like every day for the last few weeks, I hold a Popkins. And I think I put, I don't know, $100 into the Hebrew sale. So yeah, I respectfully, you're wrong. I shouldn't even say respectfully because this guy was an asshole. But bigger point being is, I don't know what the point was. It doesn't matter. NFT season 3 is here. We're seeing fine wear collectors like Dort collecting low quality cats. We're seeing the NFT archaeologists come out of the woodwork once again and get mad at the year. If you're happen to catch this recording or this podcast years from now, the year today that this is live in 2026, August of 2026. I'm not making this up. There are people on X, the Everything app, who are mad at the NFT class of 2021. It's 2026. The same people, these archaeologists that are mad at the 2021 class, somehow don't realize that the class of 2021 made their historical NFTs worth more than they ever could have possibly imagined because of the attention, eyeballs, and momentum we brought into the space. But yeah, there's still people out there that are mad at the NFT 2021 class, primarily because they missed out on apes, I guess, and that upsets them. But it's not just the archaeologist. It is we're not like I'll also host a lot of shows. Like someone throughout, we've talked about cannabis with Cap, potentially. Someone threw out cocaine with Cap. That's not going to happen. Also, coffee with Cuckton, not happening. But not only are the historical NFT archaeologists mad, so many people mad about this Alpha Centurion kid mint, this ACK mint. It's like, hey, cool. You don't like pixel art, which some of the people mad are have pixel art projects. You're mad because a well-respected legacy NFT artist made a couple $1 million on a mint. You're mad because they minted it for $300. And in every, I'm sure there's exceptions, but in nearly every case that I saw on my timeline, and I clicked through to their profile, every single person that's mad at ACK or mad at minters, or the last guy that called me a cuck was mad at NFT influencers. They all they're either an artist who's not sold much work, or they were an NFT founder, can't make this up, that has a pixel art NFT collection that's trading at $16. It's like do they not realize how bad that looks when they're taking shots at another NFT artist or an NFT founder or whatever you want to call yourself? And it looks very obvious to the outsider that you're mad and you're jealous, you're envious, because people in this space are choosing to spend their money on things that they want to spend their money on. And you're mad because they're spending their own money on things that they want to spend their money on, instead of spending their money on what you want them to spend their money on. Like, it's such a bad look. I'm not even going to pull up the one comment because I don't want to give him any. Can I explain what NFT archaeologists are mad about? I don't know what they're mad about. Well, I will pull up one post because I don't even know this guy. I've never followed him. And, but someone called him an NFT boomer, and I read the post, and so I clapped back at him. Let me find it. I'll give you the exact post, because there's actually several, but in particular, the one I was specifically referring to this morning. Boy, the world was popping off because it took me a while to go back to find this. It was about an hour ago. We might Thursdays might just be like, it's going to be a PFP change every Thursday morning. We'll take a new PFP for a spin on Thursdays, and we may just lean into. I said I thought about doing like air your grievances segment on Thursdays. We don't need to air our grievances, but we might just, this might be like spicy Thursdays. I might try to be calm, cool, collected, and to the best of my abilities, a professional, and take the high road Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then Thursdays, I may just let it fucking rip. So brace yourselves. Thursdays might be a headphones type of show. Excuse my language once again. The one specific reference for those who asked what NFT archaeologists are mad. Again, never followed this person, never connected. Says the NFT space before the monkey pictures was clinically high Q intellectuals with sophisticated taste for innovative forms of art. Like, I hope they're kind of joking here. Like, I'll read the whole thing before I comment. Hold on. The NFT space before monkey pictures was clinically high IQ intellectuals with sophisticated taste who clearly are very humble and don't think high of themselves or their intelligence. The NFT space before monkey pictures was clinically high IQ intellectuals with sophisticated taste for innovative forms of art befitting the digital revolution of age. I hope this is a parody. I don't think it is, though. After 2021, that space got explosively diluted by man-childs True story. I did call myself a man child this morning. So I don't know. Take this for what it's worth. After 21, the space got explosively diluted by man-childs that estranged the whole world to the mere concept of NFTs by their entitlement of representation and succumbing to the lowest of human traits. And people protest if they fear it will happen all over again. To which I said, NFT season 3 has arrived, confirmed. The NFT archaeologists are back and complaining about the class of 2021 again. Despite the class of 2021 helping make their old NFTs more valuable than ever before, so back we are. And again, I have no idea who this person is. They're probably a great person. All I know is that they founded NFT Relics, the biggest community for the oldest NFTs. And you click through and yep, we're going to shill. I don't know. They chose the lowest resolution image they could for a big chart like this. So you can't really read anything, but we're going to shill. I'm even looking. I don't even see Lost Robbies on here. I don't know how you're going to talk about. Maybe I'm missing it because it's such poor resolution, but how are you going to talk about timeline of collectible token and projects since the creation of Counterparty and not talk about Lost Robbies? Am I just not seeing it? Rare Pepe, he's got on here. I don't see Lost Robbies. I do see Mooncats, CryptoPunks V1, Mooncats, CryptoPunks V2, CryptoCats, CryptoKitties, Ethermon, Ether Rocks, Curio Cards, but no Lost Robbies for some reason. Anyways, sorry that Monkey JPEGs made you actually relevant and made you some money. But yeah, this, I mean, of course, how low intelligence, how low IQ of me, and how I just complete lack of sophistication that I don't have Ethereum fine art like this in my vault. Hey, the NFT archaeologists never left, but now they're back and mad about monkey JPEGs from 2021. Okay. Thank you for the entertainment. I'm sorry. I will try to be better. But my point stands that, and that wasn't even a good example for what I was referencing when it comes to the people who are mad about, because I have no idea, like, as an NFT archaeologist, you would think they would be supportive of Alpha Centauri Kid, but that wasn't even what I was referencing. There's a lot of people that some are struggling artists and they just haven't had a hit yet. Others are mad because it was a $300 mint and it wasn't free. So I think I saw, pretty sure it was TMA who said, and he even got shit for this. It's like, come on, it's not that serious, guys. Like, we're LARPing as JPEG animals or bones, or like, this isn't serious. Like, it's not that deep. But if you want to get mad, I guess. To each their own. I think it was TMA. I'm trying to find the post because I did chuckle. He said something to the effect of, by the way, one of the mints we're going to be talking about is Blockies. It does mint today at 10 a.m. Some different mechanics, really leaning into the public raffle. We'll see how that goes. I think it'll do pretty well. I'm gonna go for at least one. And I'm going to gauge interest because I would like to get at least one. I just don't know how I don't know how much, like there could be 5,000 ETH poured into this thing and then a lot refunded if they over allocates. The guy with 0.01 ETH in his wallet would like you to know that 0.12 ETH is an extraction. Yeah, and I'm sure there's other people that this isn't all. I shouldn't speak in absolutes. Most, or in my feed, the people I saw that were mad about a $300 mint were either seemingly broke because what their timeline looks like. They're talking about free mints that they were flipping for $6, or they're an artist and they haven't like, or they're a dev and they've built great products. Guys, I feel you. If you've built something, you've poured your blood, sweat, and tears for years into building something that you think is cool and revolutionary, and it just didn't catch on, and you didn't find product market fit, that sucks. But it's life. It's life in crypto, blockchain, NFTs, in real life. Like you can have the best product in the world. If you don't have any marketing, if you don't have any distribution, you're dead on the vine. Very rare. Like having great art isn't just enough. Like tastemakers matter. Collectors matter. You have great tech. Marketing matters. Distribution matters. Conversely, you can have stuff that's average or not. It could be copy pasta tech. It could be a fork. But if you have better distribution, if you have people talking about your stuff, you're going to get more attention. You're probably going to do better. This isn't new. This isn't a blockchain thing. This is just our world. And to see so many people so mad about an artist, like you're missing it. You're missing the point. Like you should be happy. If you're a founder, if you're an artist, you should be happy that a 10,000 collection minted out yesterday for $300 a pop. That's freaking awesome. That means we are entering a new NFT season, or we have. But when you complain about it, when you take shots at it, when you try to dunk on the artist or the collectors, like, what do you think that art, like, is this not, like, go look at the collectors, go look at the holders. It's some of the most, it's for the most part, most of our holders that you would want in your ecosystem. Did some people come in and bought the mint and they get they're just a flipper and they're not a real collector? Sure. But go through and look at the wallets who have other, whether it's a 101 or earlier pieces from ACK and they minted, a few of these, they collected ones. Like, go look at their wallets and tell me that's not someone you'd want in your collection. Now, do you think they're more likely to support you as an artist if you are, like, you don't even have to compliment them. Like, you don't have to say anything. But do you think they're more likely to support you as an artist if you are taking shots at the art, taking shots at the collectors, or not doing that? It's just, to me, it's like common sense. So all of you that are dunking on a $300 mint, like, you're shooting your own foot. Makes no sense. I was following a person, following two of their businesses, including a Farmville knockoff that's trading at $16. I didn't own any, but I was following him. He called me a cuck this morning. I don't care. I'm not going to block you. If you want to tune in today, great. But you lost a follower on your personal account. You lost a follower on two of your businesses. And is that going to hurt you? No. But you're not getting any freaking support from me. I'm not even going to mention your collection here on the show. You said you didn't want to be talked about on the show. Good. You're not going to be. I'm not trying to be a dick, but it's not just me. It's like, it's how the world works. Like, stop being envious. Stop being jealous. Respect the pump. It's like Crypto 101. Respect the pump. I'm sidelined on NetNet. I'm not fudding it. I might start fudding Quatrons, though. They did some shady stuff, I think. No offense, G-Funk and Danny. G-Funk and... why am I drawing a blank on his name? The one of one CryptoPunk. Sorry, stage requesters. I was caught in my own head on a rant. We'll get to Simple Farmer Drew and Justin here in a minute. Danny, what's his Seed Phrase. Yeah, no offense to Seed Phrase and G-Funk. Not G-Funk. G-Money. Jesus, what's wrong with me this morning? Freudian slip there. I'm not comparing G Money to G Funk, just to be clear. That was an true accident. So no offense meant to G Money and Seed Phrase, who are shilling Quantrons. I like Quantrons. I attempted to get in early and got a warning on Uniswap that it was a fraud or a malicious token. And so I didn't buy, didn't go back, and I'm down bad. But I'm not going to FUD it because I missed. It's on me. I missed. But I will call something out that I feel is somewhat questionable. Maybe it's all just happenstance and a change of opinions or something. I don't know. And I'm also not going to go here because Simple Farmer just joined us on stage. This is not to glaze him or stockbrokers, but like I think it's a $23,000 decision by Quantrons, and I guess the community voted. I think it's a $23,000 decision. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe people move on and it's fine. But at least I'll speak for me personally, not the opinion of anyone else. For me personally, I went from looking for an entry point on Quantrons to like, I'm good. There's so many other things popping off. There's so many other opportunities. If I'm debating between Quantrons and NetNet, I'm going NetNet. Why? Because from my perspective, in my opinion, they leveraged the excitement, the momentum that Stockbrokers built. They leveraged the Stockbrokers meta, put their own twist on it, did some things differently, but they certainly leaned into the RWAs that in tokenized stocks as that Stockbrokers popularized. And part of their thing was, I'm reading, this is on their site. The permanent base fee of 3% on the WE side volume taken on the hook inside the swap itself. The pool-owned LP fee is forced to zero and the protocol fee replaces it. The curve is fixed in the fee library, and a part of their percent of that 3% fee, 7% of it is to go to Stockbroker buyback and burn. That right now in their wallet, they've distributed 400 grand of stock rewards, and they have $23,000 or 9 WE sitting in queue that was to go buy back and burn Stockbroker tokens. Cool. Awesome. Like, is Stockbroker going to be affected by not having $23,000 of tokens bought and burned? No. Is Quantrons, is that 23 grand going to make or break their business if they choose to buy and burn their own token? I doubt it. It might drive a little bit of pump. I was trying to find the exact, there's more language on this in terms of like their, unless they change the website, in terms of their, I want to get the exact words, so my apologies for not knowing it, but they basically launched with 2% of the volume queues, hardwire 0.21% buys and burns Stockbroker tokens. So they gained a good amount of Stockbroker holders, collectors, ecosystem support because, this, while not a special project, this is a line project and they're going to work together in ecosystem. And then after they took off and had some success and floor price grown, they're like, just kidding. We're not going to do that. They are still providing a Stockbroker boost that you get 1.25% weight if you're holding a terminal. But someone said that, hey, it's 2026. You don't have to worry about being politically correct anymore. I also really don't want to offend anyone. So I almost said like a phrase that used to be common. If you give something and take it back, I don't know if it's inappropriate to say that phrase anymore, but it's just bad look. It's a bad form. Like over 23 grand, do what you said you're going to do and then change it and whatever. I don't care. And again, it's just me. Like, it's not going to affect them if I just choose to stay sidelined and not participate in that ecosystem. But again, words matter, intent matters. And if you say you're going to do something with a project that has a lot of attention and a lot of that distribution, and then you go back on your word, it's possible you lose some of this support from said ecosystems. I don't hold one right now. So like, hey, maybe they don't care, but I was talking positively about Quantrons in the show. That decision, this will probably be the last time I talk about them. Again, I'm not saying that because Simple Farmer, I was going to plan on addressing that before he jumped on the show. Appreciate y'all joining us. I see Justin saying, let's go to Justin. And then we'll go Simple Farmer and Drew. Justin, GM, appreciate you jumping up.
Yeah, hey, the reason I asked about the archaeologists actually in 21, I was actually really fascinated by some of the groups of the archaeologists because I actually do think that um, one of the primary values of blockchain is to enable digital archaeology. Because if you think of provenance, just literally means the history of an item, right, an artifact. And I think over time, I just think about like future archaeologists and anthropologists just kind of culling through blockchains and trying to see, what culture was represented at that point in time. But the weird thing about that comment that you're reading, by the way, send it to me on DM if you don't want to post it, because I'm actually curious to look into it. The odd thing is that it didn't even really speak to any historical lens. It was just like there was discontent with the type of expressions that were being promoted through, I guess, the 21 era art. And I guess if the gripe is that there wasn't like enough of expression of ideas, but then they used, I mean, no shade, art is subjective, but like ether rocks as an example of lofty art is kind of odd as well. That's why I thought it was kind of maybe satire. But look, the bigger irony here though is that if they're using kind of language like low IQ and everything like that, the pure irony is that art by definition is subjective. So to describe any art as less or more IQ itself shows a lack of intelligence about the arts.
Right.
So it's kind of odd there. But I actually do think the archaeology stuff, like when and I sometimes you get these characters kind of in that circle that kind of maybe taints the word of archaeology. But then the relation to, like, it's weird that when you went to the ACK Mint, like, me, I haven't been like staying that active, right? My livelihood is in tech. My livelihood isn't in crypto, but I love art. I love technology. And this was the first mint that I like truly like wanted to collect. I kind of love the pixel art, like almost like the blurry aspect of it, because it is so fine detailed. Pixel art. It actually reminds me of there's this artist who demonstrates at the LA Art Show almost every year, and his works are painted, pixelated portraits that look completely blurry. But actually, when you take your phone out and point at the paintings, you can see the clear images of famous figures and landmarks because of the compression that your phone does on the painting, which is kind of wild. Anyways, I kind of love this the art, and so it's just wild that people are complaining. But I'll leave with this. I would say that it's actually something I mentioned to Figgy the other day, which is the silver lining in people getting really loud and complaining about whatever you're doing shows that that you're doing something that they actually care about. Like the worst is when no one's talking about it and there's just apathy.
Yep.
So for anyone who's a creator in this space, I would just say, like, hang on to that and don't get like frustrated if people are angry, if you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I too, like, I appreciate the NFT archaeologist. I have nothing against that. And I also collected some historical NFTs, from crypto art to is it Bitbirds? Is that right? I'll pull them up. I have a few of these like these pre-CryptoPunk NFTs, and it's fine. I think probably there was, I'm grouping them all together, and I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't stereotype. But last cycle, there was absolutely some people that really took advantage of that. They'd host a big space. They'd talk. It was like almost by definition pump and dumps. They'd host a big space. They'd have, prior to it, they'd sweep a bunch of these historical NFTs for next to nothing. They talk about, oh, this is the next thing. And I'm not blaming Gary V. Other people used Gary V when he would buy an old NFT, a historical NFT. They would use that to pump the price, and then they would dump on the heads of honest. Like, and I'm not saying I brought my crypto art because Kevin Rose talked about it on a Modern Finance podcast, and I think I paid like 0.75 ETH for it. And I probably marked the Pico top right after his podcast talking about it. That's on me, but I'm not salty. Well, I am salty towards K-Ro, but for other reasons. but yeah, like I have nothing against the archaeologist, but it was just like, it was funny to me that without naming names, well, he did name names. He specifically called out monkey JPEGs that like alluding or giving the, like, oh, we are of low intelligence because we minted monkey JPEGs instead of going back and buying Bitbirds. Whatever, buddy. But it's also like, I think I'm probably a little picking on that in particular person who I don't know and I've never connected with before a little too much this morning, because I saw a lot of people big time mad about this mint yesterday. And like, hey, I know pixel art's not for everyone. I kind of like it. I pulled that gold that I was excited about yesterday. Didn't know it was basically the modern day Van Gogh. I've got my picture pulled up here on the screen. Like, this is what is it called? A skeleton with a cigarette? What is the actual artwork called? Skull of a skeleton with a burning cigarette is the Van Gogh piece from like 1886. The gold on black background Argonaut that I pulled yesterday it's got a pipe instead of a cigarette, but otherwise it's like a pixelated version of it. I like it. I thought it was cool. I wanted it. I haven't been able to, I thought about buying synthwave because I wanted it on my wall. I chose not to spend a couple grand on it, but I like his art. I think the one he did for Adam's incredible. And so for me, it was like, oh, cool. I can go pick up a piece of art from a collector, from an artist I want to collect for $300. Awesome. I mean, I talked through it live on the show. I was like, oh, I'm probably going to mint two because I would like to keep one. So my goal would be I'll mint two. If I can flip the one and free roll the one for my collection, awesome. That's a win for me. I didn't expect it to, I don't know whether I expected to run up but I don't really care. Like, is it nice that I could flip it for more than I bought it for? Yeah, awesome. I'm not an idiot. I'll take money. But that wasn't why I chose to mint. And I think so many other people, a lot of them found out about ACK for the very first time yesterday and were comparing it to like Cool Ethereum. No offense or shots at Cool, but they're very different people. Like, it's just not even in the same. I mean, I guess you could include them in the same sentence because you could say they both had an NFT collection that minted out and they collected over $1 million this cycle. That's where their similarities end, though. It's, again, respect the pump. It doesn't have to be for you. Stop caring where other people spend their money. Why does that bother you? Well, I know why it bothers you, because they're not spending money on what you wanted to buy, your bags or your project. But I'm telling you, you being upset with those people, it's not helping. You're turning them off. They're much less likely to support you now because they see you taking shots at someone else. Are
you able to easily detect when someone online is just causing drama for engagement and eyeballs compared to actually seriously believing what they are posting?
You know what? That's a great question, and not always. So I get got sometimes. I get got by sports parody accounts, and I'm pretty dialed into like football and, well, now football and football, but like I'll get got like good parody. And I don't like. Sometimes I laugh and it's funny. I don't love it. I don't like accounts. Like, I'll mute accounts. People I like, I have to mute their account because that's become like their shtick, and that's all they do. I'm not hating the game. I just have to mute it because I don't want to get got and share something on this show and people take it as fact. In reality, it's just a parody and they're just doing it for engagement farming. And I got. I didn't realize it. So I can identify accounts. Like I'm not going to name names. I'm not mad. I don't like, do your thing. I'm not hating the game. Just like I respect the pump, I'll respect someone who's getting paid on X the Everything app.
I hate the game, man. I have this like theory that like we've been incentivizing like figurative car crashes, right? People can't take their eyes away from car crashes, so now they're like crashing out in order to get the eyeballs on them, and we're incentivizing that. And I think it actually has a really even if it is initially like seeded as parody, I think it actually has pretty unhealthy consequences. And yeah, but anyways, that's a separate point. I just want to say one last thing about the archaeology thing. If you ever want to talk about this, there's a fascinating that has been just overlooked kind of archaeological phenomenon post merge of Ethereum, which is, if we truly do believe in blockchain as providing provenance, right? Well, do you know that if you connect to Ethereum Classic, all of your with your wallet from then, all of your NFTs pre-merge, if you can either code or connect to a viewer, will be in your wallet. Meaning, even if you had, let's say, apes pre-merge and then sold them post-merge, they will be in your wallet on Ethereum Classic. And so we have like these two sets of NFTs, and all of the ones are kind of are there from before. There was this group in Asia that created actually an OpenSea clone kind of right after the merge. I don't think it's around anymore, called YayaSea. And it kind of like proved the fact. And there was actually like a market there at one point.
Wild.
Anyways, if anyone ever explores that, it could kind of get wild, but yeah.
I had no idea. Today I learned not only about that, but I learned there's an actual use case for Ethereum Classic. This is why Ethereum Classic still has value. I didn't know. I'm kidding. That's probably not why it still has value, but
wait, is there really another use case of Ethereum Classic or not?
I doubt it. But every time I see it on the chart, I'm like, what? Who's buying ETH Classic? Like
I think there are some like proof of work, like just hardcore devotees, I guess.
I'm checking right now because I don't like it possibly could have went to zero, but I pretty sure it's still, yeah. Don't look, don't cheat. Drop your best guess in the chat. I might have I've got my allow list spreadsheet started now. So if anyone gets it exactly don't cheat on our system. What is the current market cap of Ethereum Classic? Closest guess gets an allow list spot. First closest guess without cheating. And actually, let's say, just to be clear, let's go with FDV, fully diluted value, because I guess it's not all in circulation either somehow. Yeah, so fully FDV of Ethereum Classic on August 27, 2026. We'll come back to that in a second. Go and get your guesses in the chat below. I'm going to go to Simple Farmer next. Before I do, I'm going to read a DM I just got. I agree wholeheartedly. If they want to share, they can, but it's a DM, so I'm not going to share it publicly. But they say the space has to take many shots on goal. More experimental mints, more mints, good or bad, are a net positive. It's compounding volume. And I agree. Maybe I would with an and, or not, I don't want to say a but. I would say anything new that's got any sort of innovation or any different twist is all net positive. I think some of like the extreme low effort derivatives, copy pastas, cash grabs, that it's like, I think extractors and rugs, I think they get thrown around way too liberally in this space. But the reality is, especially when things start popping off, it's real, like it happens. And more of it's going to happen now. And as the new season has started, than we were seeing, in the depths of a bear. There's a lot of low effort that's purely extractive. It's just a rug, just for them to take your money. That's where I would say that's not a net positive. But you just like this mint yesterday was not that. Like, it is a really highly regarded, well-respected. Like, I bet most of the people complaining have no idea he did that 1-of-1 for Adam Weitzman. I don't know what Adam paid. I mean, I would be shocked if it was a penny less than 100 grand. Probably a lot more than that. I don't know. But anyways, I'll end my rant there. I don't really, I don't care. I'm not losing any sleep over this. I'm sharing because if there's anyone out there that's an artist, this is my real candid advice for you today, more so than what, to mint blockies, or, by the way, I see TMA out there, no obligation or pressure. I've got a pretty good idea of the mint mechanics and this raffle, but just open invite. If you want to join us and you want to talk about the raffle goes live at 10 a.m. Because it's a raffle, it's not a rush. So it's not like you're out if you go in at 10:01, but we'll be talking about that in a little bit. And the first guesses are coming in. Smoking Buzz says 1.2. D Money looks like it's going to be our winner. We had a 2 billion guess by Machiavelli, 850 million by 8 Crypto. The answer is actually $1.64 billion is the FDV on Ethereum Classic. It's the number 55 token as far as market cap goes in all of crypto. And I, not exaggerate, I don't know what is it just a meme coin, or people just buying it because it's a meme? Is it, my speculation is people buy it because they go into Coinbase or Robinhood or CoinMarketCap and they see Ethereum, and then they see Ethereum Classic, and they're like, oh, this is Classic's better than Ethereum, and I'm going to buy this. Teach their own, I guess.
I got a bunch of normie friends. They bought it because they see the $7 price tag instead of the $2,500 price tag. I don't understand market cap or anything. I
think that matters. Yeah, probably you're right. Probably more so than, like, I'm giving them too much credit. They're not even looking at FTV. They're not looking at market cap. They're looking at, like, why would I buy $2,500 Ethereum when I can buy the classic one for $7? Of course I'm going to buy the $7 one. They could go to if Ethereum could go to $2,500, the $7 one could go to $2,500. Like,
plus it's a lot more relatable to imagine that it could 100x.
Yeah.
Instead of spending that on a coffee.
Exactly.
And plus two, people don't understand they can buy fractionalized parts of crypto tokens. Like, I don't know. It's things that we very much take for granted.
Yep.
That normies still are like, this just doesn't make sense to me. And it's rightfully so. I mean, no one's teaching that in, personal finance in universities or schools or, nothing like that. I mean, it's if you're not doing your own research or, luckily now I feel like a lot of the younger generation understands it because they ask ChatGPT and it explains it in a normie way. But outside of that, I mean, people don't do their own research. They're lazy.
Yeah, no, exactly right. I think, and unit price matters. I shared earlier, like, unit price is why I didn't get into net when I saw it, because it was 1,000, and I know I can buy a fraction of it, but it's just how my brain. If my brain works like that, and I know the difference between a token price, FTV, market cap, your average Uber driver, like, they're making decisions like that. And so, yeah. Anyway, I was not planning on fighting Ethereum Classic today, but here we are.
Yo, Cap.
Yes.
Cap, so can we still deploy on Ethereum Classic? Because
no idea.
That might be where I want to go.
Good luck.
Yeah, you can. I mean, it's a complete fork. Like, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
D-Mock, there was literally a site called YaYaC. Again, that it was literally an OpenSea clone. Like, they didn't even change the color.
I'm about to be Ethereum Classic whale right now. I'm rotating right now.
I can't believe I talk about pumping things I don't hold. I can't believe I'm pumping Ethereum Classic today.
But I love the Classic comment. It's like the Coke Classic to Coke Zero. I kind of want like a Coke can that's designed with the Ethereum logo. So just like ETH Classic on the Coke can. Be a pretty cool.
I'll tell you this. We are all the way, like, NFT season is rip roaring. If we start seeing 10,000 PFP collections minting on Ethereum Classic, buckle up.
That's where I'm going, Cap.
Stuff is getting, we've entered silly season. If we start seeing collections mint out for, if the next $300 mint mints out 10,000 on Ethereum Classic, raise your targets. We are going so much higher. Real D-Money, the one real D-Money, and also Osiris guest 1.62. You both made it onto the allow list. So for those keeping score at home, the guaranteed mint now is Art Frogling, Eddie Crypto, D-Money, and Osiris. Congratulations. More on this soon. Tomorrow's Friday, so we'll do a little more building in public tomorrow. Appreciate your patience. Without further ado, Simple Farmer GM, sir, what do we have the pleasure? What brought you in? What brought you up? What's on your mind this morning, sir?
Just two words as Robinhood chain. I think what you're seeing happen on this chain right now is epic. It's the best performing blockchain that's been launched in memory in a long time. And almost all of the tokens that are doing really well outside of like CashCat are like technologies. They're financial technologies. And how cool is that? That we're moving towards using, crypto, which was created to replace the world finance system. And it's actually building financial technologies. It's something to be very excited about. So I don't want to mention that. And I also just wanted to say, I hope people are continuing to consider when they're speculating on tokens, token infrastructure. Remember, 84% of trading still happens on centralized exchanges and not decentralized exchanges. If a token's infrastructure includes a tax feature and is using those fees to power its protocol, that feature won't work when it's listed on centralized exchanges. At Stockbrokers, with our incubator program, the first thing that we flag and block is anybody trying to build a token that has a built-in tax feature for that reason, because we want to give them a high ceiling. So when you're looking at your tokens and we're looking at what you could and could not buy, obviously not financial advice, but first look at the infrastructure, because if your car doesn't have proper wheels, you're not going to go very far.
Yeah, man. Well said. Congrats. And I think when you talk about not just Robinhood chain, but infrastructure and you're building. And I still think, I know like there are some that certainly understand what Stonkbroker ecosystem's about. And shout out to our guy, Proof Alpha Degen, for beating infrastructure in our head. I still think a lot of people don't fully grasp or fully understand that. I did say I would go back to Dobbins, so maybe you can correct me here. Something I was saying, I think before you jumped in the show, is this ARB. Like I just don't have enough dry powder right now without rotating or selling something to play the ARB game in the Stonkbroker ecosystem. But what I saw earlier this morning was like on the floor. It looked to me like an $800 ARB. If someone would have hit a WETH offer and then immediately pulled out the Stonkbroker tokens, 666,000 Stonkbroker tokens, it was like a $4,000 difference. To which then Dobbins educated me. He's like, well, you'd have to pay. I think his exact words were, you'd have to pay like an ETH to pull out your tokens. Can you explain, what am I missing when because I was trying, because I think I misspoke when I was referencing this ARB and surprised that we hadn't seen people talking about it. But if I was misunderstanding it, or it wasn't quite the ARB that I was thinking, then that's why I haven't seen more people talking about it on the timeline. He said that the swap fee, it says almost an ETH cost to go from the NFT to the token, which keeps that ARB pretty closed. Is that right? 10% of the price of the NFT? Is that what the swap fee is to go? I'm going to hand it over to you and help me better explain what I've fumbled here this morning in terms of, if I want to pull out my 666,000 Stonkbroker tokens from the NFT, is the fee 10% of the price of the NFT, or what is the exact mechanics there?
Yeah, so there's a swap oracle, and it is 10% of the price of the NFT. And it's for that reason, because we want ARB to occur between the NFT and the token and the NFT. But the fees from that ARB need to be non-extractive. Essentially, the fees have to flow to the brokers themselves. So it's one of our staking sources, essentially one of the things that are powering these rewards you're getting. So say there's a 15% difference between the token and the NFT, and somebody executes on that ARB, they may be able to capture 5% of that. The other 10% is going to the activated brokers in the form of stock token rewards. The reason we do this, Cap, is because you have to keep your token clean. Your token contract has to be built like Ethereum, has to be built like Bitcoin. So it's a clean ERC20. It can't be minted. There's no tax. There's no fees. If you have taxes and fees, you have to put those in smart contracts that are a proxy of your token. Essentially, all of the functionality for Stonkbroker comes via the NFT. Why? Because the thing that we want listed on the highest funnels for distribution is the token. That token has to be able to pass regulatory pathways. It has to pass the Howey test, for example. It has to be classified as a non-security. The Stonkbroker token operates just like Ethereum. It's a very basic token. The reason for doing that is the scalability. That's why I'm looking out for teams who want to build special projects, and I'm always talking to them and telling them, hey, let's find ways where you can put your revenue source, not in your hook, not in your tokens contract, but let's proxy it out into additional smart contract layers so that you can scale with your token in terms of distribution.
Dude, salute again. Like, it is, like, I've been in the ecosystem since Mint. Grateful for that. Been following along. Been paying attention. It's simple, but I also, someone said we should call you complex farmer, because it is kind of complex. There's a lot here. This is extremely well thought out. There's a lot of mechanics. Even someone I don't have the intellect and the intelligence of the NFT archaeologist I was talking about earlier. Apparently, my IQ is not at that level where I instantly get all this stuff. I'm a mid curver from an IQ standpoint, but I look for EV and attempt to make right curve plays, as well as my barbell approach. Like, I attempt to do things that's smarter and outside of my intelligence range, and I'll just, I'll play the left curve as well, and because I know that's often where you win. But it's, unfortunately, I got stuck in a middle curve in terms of IQ. So you don't have to be smart to do this, but pay attention to smart people or dumb people. Either way. Anyways, I digress. What you mentioned, looking for teams to collaborate with, to partner with. I caught half the space yesterday. I want to go back and listen to the recording. I'm going to pin up a post up top here in a second I saw Board Gazette did a great summary or breakdown, and I know that's not why you popped on, but can you can you share like what's going on with MeBits? What was announced yesterday? What are you able to share about this upcoming on-chain game? If that's even the appropriate thing to call it.
First, I'd like to say when we have these special projects partners that are at the level of a team like Meebco, like the GVC folks, like Normies, it's just awesome to have such an elite partner in terms of execution. I mean, I was on the stage, I didn't have to say anything. That's like a new thing for me almost. This Sergito knocked it out of the park with the explainers. I've seen visuals of the UX. It looks awesome. It's like we're bringing some fresh, cool experiment ideas, and they're bringing the execution, the IP. It's just beautiful, the whole process. So essentially, Nightshades is what we've been working on for a long time called the Civilizations Protocol. It's going to be 4 tokens that are paired with 4 NFTs, 4 NFT collections, that is, that work through the Anvil AMM. Those tokens will run on a cycle. Every 24 hours, trading on the tokens will stop for 1 hour. During that 1 hour, VRNG will randomly take LP from 3 tokens and use it to buy the one surviving token. While visually on the map for the game, you'll see like an earthquake event damaging those factions or those tribes.
So as players, there's the RNG, there's the random involved, which token wins, and then that LP goes or the other LPs goes and buys that one. Is what else how can we better prepare? How can we participate as players? How do we win? Is there an edge we can find, or is it purely you gotta just bet on the right token that you happen to the RNG gods are in your favor?
So the introduction of chaos or real randomness into the token trading model gives everybody a fair shot. So right now you might be trading memes, and with insider information, maybe you have a 1 in 10 shot of getting like a 4 or 5x, right? Pretty solid sometimes for people. Here, you're going to have a 1 in 4 shot every 24 hours. And so there's also going to be interesting arbitrage between those NFTs and the tokens, especially after certain cities get damaged. And there's also the thought process of, well, we're going to have LP fees feeding the token. So long term, if you could get in early enough, technically you could also just wait for so many rounds of the game to play out that value will accrue because of the swapping volume itself and those LP fees flow.
Mm-hmm.
And so visually, from a strategy side, there's like a lot of game theory involved, right? You could go with the NFT, you could go with the token, you could go with the hybrid of the two. You can take the NFT and stake it in the Anvil, remember? And maybe get more tokens that way as well. That's a potential path. So a lot of sides to this, and it's a very, very fun one. I'm excited to go live with that, and everything I've seen so far, it looks sick.
Fun. And as more my brain goes, like how can I? What is the game theory? What is the game theory I want to like? I don't know. It's probably not optimal to. We'll just use. You have $100. It's probably not optimal to put 25 in each token. That's probably not the best play. You're probably if you just try to spread and try to cover all your angles, you're likely to not end up winning, as I understand it. Would you agree with that or no?
I don't know. I don't know if I would. I think that's a pretty stable way to bet on the ecosystem as a whole. If you believe in the game concept, putting an equal amount in each token is an interesting way to do all that. But look, Cap, a good experiment, a sign of a good experiment is that it gets you thinking. Right?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Trying to figure it out. So.
Yeah, it's different. It's new, gamifying token trading, which to me, I'd much rather do something like this and have the opportunity for the token I bought to win and 2x's, 10x's, whatever overnight, as opposed to just purely relying on speculation or a KOL pump or something like that. But the site did look good too. I'll pull it up here in a second. And do we know launch time yet or no? Do we know when?
They're targeting the second or third week of September.
Second or third week of September. Okay. So 2.5, 3 weeks away. You can find more at Meebco. The account or the website is Nightshades, nightshades.meebco.com. Online survival game, partnership of Meebco Labs and Clutch Markets. And as mentioned, this is just one of several special project partners that are historical legacy OG NFT PFP brands. I guess I shouldn't say OG because Normie's minted in 2026, right? That was earlier this year. Pretty sure. Normies, and then also
this year.
and then Good Vibes Club minted last year. But two that I really like. I really, while I've been sidelined on
OG is just a mentality cap.
Yep. I've been sidelined on Normies, but I do really appreciate the on-chain experimentation and doing things differently. And this is, I know I've said it before, but it's probably the most exciting part so far this NFT season. Is the experimentation is absolutely, I shouldn't say back, because I know Steve checked me on it yesterday. There was experimentation, there was innovation in the last couple of years, even InfoFi, it wasn't just Hyperliquid and Pump. But I think after I gave it some more thought last night, after Steve and I's conversation back and forth yesterday, I think what wasn't necessarily as much of a thing last cycle. And again, yes, giving credit to Project X and some other things that launched inside of Hyper EVM ecosystem or Hyper EVM chain. It is still like, it was kind of stopped there, right? Like some people launched on the chain, but we didn't have this on-chain incubator, this on-chain accelerator, this, and that's, I guess I won't name names. I was talking with someone yesterday and they got really excited over the Stockbroker ecosystem because the energy, the builder energy, like it's not just, oh, number go up or, let me go comment clock in. There's a lot of people from leaders of other brands like MeBits and Good Vibes Club and Normies. There's also a lot of people in the ecosystem that are talking about launching their first on-chain project, that are talking about creating new content around the ecosystem. Like there's an immense amount of builder energy because the infrastructure you built, because how well thought out the mechanics and the tokenomics are. And even so much that you've got non-special projects or outsiders that are claiming they're tapping into the infrastructure and going to use, going to show alignment by buying back and burning some tokens and then pivoting away from that. I'm not going to keep picking on them. I did get a few more details in the chat. So shout out to those that shared some more screenshots there. I'm not going to go back there. I'm not trying to start a war or anything. It's really not that deep, but it was, I didn't do it justice when I said it earlier. So I guess I will share. This is on their site, so you can see it. But I mean, they even called it the Stonkbroker Alliance. And hey, alliances sometimes are broken. It would have landed better with me personally, my opinion, had they at least went through their first round and then decided to change it. I get it. It's just, it left a bad taste when it's, hey, we're going to do this thing. Now that we've gained some success, we have some distribution, we have some KOLs talking about us, we're not going to align with stockbrokers anymore. Again, I'm not picking on them. I'm not trying to start some war. It's not PvP. I respect the pump. There's, the reason that I'm guessing they wanted to align with the ecosystem is because of the motion, because of the momentum, because of the infrastructure and all that you're building. And, that hasn't changed. I think it's only grown. So anyways, I digress. I'm not trying to go there and upset more people because.
Yeah. Cap, can I say something on that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, look, this is the difficult part, right? Special projects exist for this exact reason, to create a non-PvP environment, to get into the PvE environment. That's why we have this lane. And it's a lane that the doors are very open to, especially with teams who have, heck, they are their own blockchains. Obviously, that would be open to them if they wanted to communicate and collaborate. There was a line of communication open. I started a conversation and 2 days later, this was launched without any further communication. So for me, that part was strange. I would say what's most important is that we all collectively learn to treat this industry and the way we do business with each other with a certain level of respect. And Gary was saying this in a big way too in the space yesterday when we were on with Shiv for the NFT super cycle. People asked Gary, he's like, hey, if you go on Joe Rogan, would you talk about NFTs? And Gary's like, no. They said, why? He's like, it's an absolute, every time anything good happens, you have 10,000 people trying to grift, FUD, vampire things to extract liquidity. Why would he want to bring the in real life normals, the good people he knows, into that to get slaughtered? Right? It's because we're not treating our industry with respect. And for me, this is where I hang my hat. I'm always going to treat the space with respect, and the business I do here is going to be of a high moral standard. And I expect that of all the partners and people who want to work with stockbrokers as well. Full stop.
Salute. Man, one of the things that you said, I don't know if it was on this space or another space. I think it was on this space. One of our interviews we had you on where you mentioned, part of the essentially like almost the true north. Maybe not, that's not fair, but one of your why is wanting to build this to change the public perception of crypto. You wanted to build this to where your one-year-old is excited to become an on-chain participant, excited to build in tech, excited to get into crypto. And some may find that cheesy. I didn't. I was like, awesome, like more of that. Because if that's part of your vision, if that's part of your goal, probably helps guide some other decisions along the way that align with that, right? Drew, go ahead and get in here.
I was say I was listening to that, and when Gary was talking, I mean, I think it all spawned from everyone encouraging him to go on the Joe Rogan podcast and talk about NFTs, because people just saw this perception that NFTs are a scam. And what Simple was just saying, like he was saying no. I mean, could you imagine if he actually went on Joe Rogan and Gary was trying to talk about the innovation of Robinhood Chain, mentioned stockbrokers, and then went to OpenSea, typed that in, and then you have like 1 million results? Like that, I don't know, it's kind of a realization as well that I'm glad Gary's not doing that, because obviously people listen to him and it'd be like, what an embarrassment to the space.
Yeah. Embarrassing to, like, in that example. At the same time, like, I don't know, I can't speak for Simple Farmer, but there's got to be some, like, I don't know. How do you feel when you see all these copy pastas, these derivatives? Do you, on one end, I'm sure there's probably maybe a little bit of frustration. You also probably feel a little bit flattered by the imitation. Maybe it's different case by case scenario, but do you mind sharing? Like, how does it make you feel when you see, I mean, at this point, hundreds of derivatives, not just on Robinhood Chain, but Robinhood Chain, Inc. Chain, like they're popping off everywhere. Some are like low effort derivatives. Others are not making a derivative of the art, but doing something I would think clearly inspired by stockbrokers. How does it make you feel?
I mean, look, it's confirmation that the technology is at an extremely high level. It's something that people hadn't thought of before, and it's something where even the biggest ruggers and extractors haven't figured out a way to duplicate essentially at a high level, because our mode is distribution and not only product. But look, Cap, for me, the challenge here is, how is data presented to normies or normals, as Gary Vee was calling them yesterday? So I remember, actually, I had this memory when I was in DeFi summer after 2021. I was like, NFTs are getting pretty hot. I started looking, Bored Apes were out of my price range. And I started looking, I'm like, which people are making tons of money on NFTs? Like, which ones do I buy? I went on OpenSea and I was just like looking at the list of which ones were available. And I look, and I still have that NFT in my wallet. It is absolutely worthless. And I paid like 0.25 ETH or something for it. Neither here nor there. Obviously, it's my own decision what I bought. But the thing is, at that time, I was essentially a normie. I didn't have data or information to work with. So I would love to see Dex Screener be way more responsible with what they show. These companies that are making hundreds of millions of dollars have to be way better at it. So I challenge them to do that. I challenge OpenSea to do that as well. Why not work with people who are doing like advertising? I think Unvault is doing something really cool with the Bored Ape, because that, like, there should be articles available so people can read not just about what's hot and what's high in volume, but what's real, right? How do we present more data to the new people coming in so that they can responsibly make these financial decisions? Because these are financial rails. And a lot of these people don't have access to Twitter. At the time, I wasn't on Twitter. So I wasn't able to use that data trail to make decisions, to follow a KOL or whatever. I was just guessing. So why would we enable that? What we're doing is we're enabling scammers. The best way to beat scammers is to use the technology. And that's why all week I've been working on Broker Tools, which is my blockchain explorer for Robinhood Chain, where I'm trying to tackle that problem.
It's awesome.
For tokens.
Which is needed. I saw someone, I don't remember who it was, I might have DM'd you the post. Someone said, would like tag Vlad, like, please just pay for Etherscan. Your block explorer is garbage. Clearly a need for what you're building. And I don't know the answer to your question. Like, how do we get better at educating? I may start using normals as well. I don't know why, but I like it. Normies is 2021, normals is 2026. How do we, because you're right, most normals aren't on crypto Twitter. They're probably not even on X. And even if they were, they're probably not turning into a 2 or some days 3 hour coffee with Captain Space or watching a long form video from any of the content creators around here. Unfortunately, at least if it's anything like 2122, unfortunately, most of them are hearing about stuff by some promoted Instagram ad or undisclosed paid shill that is, I don't even know what you call a lot of them. Like they weren't like, it would have been great if it was a copy pasta or a derivative. A lot of them were just straight rugs, straight scam projects. I don't know the answer. I don't know how we better onboard normals.
Cap, the one great thing we have on our side is that we're building in technology, and technology is this force that will just rip through the things that are inefficient and don't work well. Scammers extracting liquidity is an inefficiency we have within cryptocurrency. The way that that's stopped is first better context for people who are trading via a UI interface that is like a computer screen or a phone, right? They have better data so they can make better choices because you can figure out a scam token versus a real token by looking at the blockchain data, right? How bundled it is, the liquidity levels. Same thing with an NFT. You can find the real one versus the fake one by looking at on-chain data 99.9% of the time. Long term, most people, I believe, will trade through some type of agentic type interface where they're essentially just telling an agent what they want and it all gets executed for them. Those agents, the context they're going to use is not going to be based on a paid shill. It's going to be based on chain data and chain metrics. So when you tell it buy the best DeFi product on Robinhood chain, it's just going to do that for you based on that data. It's not going to guess based on people giving context through the timeline. And I believe when we get to that point, actually, the age of KOLs will be dead too.
Dude, this is actually a really interesting take, thought experiment, and got me thinking about, okay, yes, it doesn't have to rely on humans. It can be AI, it can be agents. That said, garbage in, garbage out, right? It's like, what are these LLMs seeing? And unfortunately, or it is what it is, a lot of them are getting, their information from things like YouTube, crypto Twitter, sure, but it's one of the bull theses on stuff like XRP or Ethereum Classic, because so many people have made content around XRP that most LLMs thinks it is a. I'm not pleased. I shouldn't use examples. Now there's going to be XRP armies going to be coming at me today. I'm not taking shots at XRP, but for what it is and what it's doing, it gets a oversized amount of attention on, in particular, YouTube, and then by proxy gets LLMs thinks it's a lot more going on there than might actually be. Trying to use my words carefully, it's not working. But yeah, the thought of.
Can I just say something on this topic here?
Go for it.
Yeah, I think in my view, it's pretty clear. I guess you all would probably consider me, in the normie or normal group, whatever you'd like to refer that as. I actually think the first step is probably to not kind of segment, those who haven't adopted the technology and those who have. But before even getting into how to communicate, I think there's an issue in what's being communicated, because the early adopters, and especially in CT, are buying tokens. The rest of the world buys what the greater thing that the token represents, right? People don't buy certificates of authenticity, they buy the artwork. They don't buy the deed to the house, they buy the house. They don't buy the title to the car, they buy the car. But here, the focus is on the financialized token first, almost backwards, and then the asset or the product that it represents. I think we often just, in a way too monolithic manner, kind of try to categorize things as like NFTs. Like I remember early at 21 when people were talking about an NFT community, I'm like, do you all realize spell that out? A non-fungible token community? Like that's laughable, right? Like NFTs can represent so many different things. And then when you even break it down into like more specific categories, like you can't even, talk about art in one category, right? There's so many different forms of art. or houses or cars. The one exception is if it's pure like financial, like stock, right? Yeah, but even then, it's like not. It's also about, okay, what is the company or the project behind it, and their the some key kind of criteria in why people are bullish about its future. But for most of the other things, like, I don't think we're talking about the products that really excite people enough. And case in point, when you look at, like, I think almost all of last year, like at least top three and often the top slot in OpenSea was Courtyard, right? Why? Because it was a lot of people that weren't super native to this industry or on CT, but they were just buying, trading, vaulting collectibles that they love. And it just happened to use blockchain. Same thing with Polymarket, right? People, there's a gambling addiction in society now, and it happens to use Polygon. But people aren't talking about Polygon, right? When they're using Polymarket, they're talking about the games and the prediction markets that are on there. And so I think, like, just laser focusing on like what the token represents first is going to be key. Because right now, to be honest, product market, like, this industry is far away from product market fit. It's early adopter fit, but early adopter and early majority often have very different kind of interests.
Yeah, I chuckled at. What do you do for a living? Oh, I host a space on X for a couple hours every weekday morning and talk with my non-fungible token community friends.
Dude, I remember when people were like labeling themselves as NFT artists. I'm like, would you ever say you're like you're a check artist because you accept checks, or you're a credit card artist because you accept credit cards? Like, this is a vehicle to transact. It was the wildest thing. Obviously, it was like a buzzword back then, and then all of a sudden, like, people just wiped it out.
Yeah, I think I'm going to become a musician now, and I'm going to become a MPEG 1 audio layer 3, also known as MP3 artist. It is kind of silly. That said, like, in all seriousness, this season is very different than season 2. Very NFT season 1, very, very, very different. And while not all, RWAs certainly, to me, seem to be at the core of this NFT season, not just stockbrokers. And sure, there's also going to be other art. Case in point, yesterday, artists minted 10,000 PFPs and sold them for $2 million. But an NFT is not an NFT is not an NFT. They're all the technology, but it's so wide. It's even wider now than ever before. I think you're right. Like, it's not about calling it digital art or tokenized stock. It's like, what is the thing? Like, what is the ecosystem? What are we doing?
Doesn't the very fact that we're talking about certain of these products get grouped into like financial cycles and seasons, in my world, that this is the craziest concept ever, where it's like imagine like cloud software. It's like, oh, cloud software, it's the bear market, but don't worry, people are going to start using cloud again, like, in 4 years. Or it's like, oh yeah, people are going to start collecting or being into like, Jordan 1s. Like, we just have to wait out 3 years, right? Like, that shows that there isn't, that the financial is first and the actual collector base right now is secondary. I think in order for the market to actually survive and then thrive, you have to have a majority of collectors, and then those who are speculating on it do collectors a service, right? I always bring up the example that I'm not a flipper in any world, but I love certain silhouettes of sneakers, right? Like basic ones, Jordan 1s and SB Dunks, and sometimes there are very limited edition ones, and I don't get them on the sneakers app. So those resellers on GOAT and StockX, they're doing me a service. Otherwise, I would never be able to get my hands on them and wear them. But there needs to be, like, in that world and most other worlds with high secondary markets, like, there is a majority of people that want the item for the item itself, not to, flip it on a second, third, fourth time within weeks. I don't know if this is true. I heard the like yesterday. Is it true that the average hold time on Solana is 42 seconds? Is that possible of like of a token?
Yeah, I mean, maybe even less.
Data.
What is it,
Probably
Drew?
shorter now.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It's shorter
shorter
than that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's wild.
it is until you factor in like Drew. How many? What would your Poison? I see your hand. We'll get you here in a second. Drew, what would you guess, like percentage wise? How many of those are just bots trading on momentum or whatever?
Oh yeah, I mean you got to think about it, right? Like there are bots that the moment anything launches on Pump Fund, they'll go ahead and throw like a decent amount of money at it. So that way, if it goes from a 5K market cap to like a 10 or 20, I mean, think about it. That's a 3 or 4x, boom, done.
And they just do, and the bots
seconds.
Exactly, and the bots programmed to do that hundreds, if not thousands, of times a day. It is. And do they miss some that end up becoming huge runners? Yeah, but that's not the game they're playing. They're purely playing momentum trading. They're looking to snipe and scalp and get in and get out. And it's also why a lot of like the daily active wallet, like I know it's exciting. I'm respecting the pump of new on-chain users. I do believe there's actual more active participants now than there was a few months ago. I truly believe that. I also think when we see these charts of, especially in particular, like FOMO and Pump Fund and like the daily active traders is an all-time high. Maybe it is, but I'm not naive to think that potentially 50% or more of those wallets are bots. One savvy person might have hundreds of bots out there doing this, different wallets doing these trading games. And again,
I think this is where we mature and graduate too, because now we're in the agentic era of agents, right? Would you consider an agent a bot? I mean, that is programmed and ran by a human. And so there are a lot more agents than bots. And I mean, even, I see everyone complaining on the timeline, like, oh, bots are ruining floors, bots are doing this, bots are doing that. No, it's actually programmable agents that are now doing it, and they're making profit. And that's what happens in a decentralized nature.
The rebrand from bot to agent should be studied. The same from shitcoin to meme coin.
Yeah, fair. And yeah, to answer your question, I don't just as like all NFTs are not the same. Same thing with like bots and agents. Like there's bots that are a pure bot that's going to comment in my every time I post something on X, which I can't for the life of me understand why they're still doing that, because they don't make comment reply guide doesn't count towards impression. Like I don't get it. It's not free. Someone's paying to have these bots go comment nonsense. I don't understand the play. I don't know what they're doing. Anyways, I digress.
It'll also be interesting to see like what like brand net new participants there are compared to people that were just, to be honest, like just like me, like kind of casually like observing, but like not, just don't have this, nothing against it, but don't have the sensibility for meme coins, don't have the time for that. But now like there's more exciting stuff that encouraged me to like, all right, take the, things that were just, I had on the sideline and just like now start to collect again, And so I'm wondering like how many net new participants like compared to those maybe that came in 21 that have been basically doing not much over the past couple of years and now returning.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at like FOMO chart looks crazy, right? It's over 100,000 daily active traders. Now, I don't think all those are humans, but to Drew's point, there's certainly more activity. There's more agents that are trading on behalf of humans. Whether one human has 10 agent wallets trading or 100 or just one, directionally, it's because it's not like agents just got created in June, like they've been around for a while. So even if it is a large portion of these are agent wallets trading, the growth is still tremendous. It's just I don't for a minute think it's 100,000 active humans, but I do think the humans are also growing. So directionally it's accurate. Just I don't look at the pure number of wallets as, oh, that's the active participants are way up. And I don't know how we ever actually identify. Shield says bots may or may not be smart. Agents are the evolution. Yeah, and this isn't just crypto either. Like, I mean, there's more bots on the internet than there are humans right now. Some of them are going to be dumb bots. Some are going to that have specific. Others are going to be really smart agents that are smarter than your average human. Just a really.
So, by the way, it is, you're right. Actually, this past week, there's a group of us that have been discussing. It was actually prompted by one of the partners at A16Z, prompted a hypothetical around when agents are primarily doing all of the purchasing, transacting, restaurant reservations for humans, what is going to be the best model that those businesses implement in order to, obviously run a good business, but also maybe be the fairest, right? And so far, honestly, the best answer has been like, a lottery system, right? Like literally, like there are going to be tons of people using Claude or GPT, the same exact model. Maybe someone's paying for more power or speed, and so both their agents are going for the same exact time slot at a New York City restaurant. Which one gets it, right? And it's either going to be the wealthy and whoever pays the most gets it, or a lottery system, I think. And I'm hoping for a lottery system. I also think that will benefit the business because you want kind of a wide distribution of people coming into the restaurants that are willing to pay for it, rather than the same just repeat wealthy buyer. But yeah, so this is actually like people are already like trying to plan for like traditional industries with agents doing all the booking and purchasing.
Exciting time to be alive. I'm grateful to have a front row seat at it, both not just the agent side, but I don't see a future where agents continue to grow at this clip and they aren't not transacting on chain. I think it's they go together like peanut butter and jelly. Live on the timeline, so I'm going to share it, and then I do want to. We will go to Poison, but before I do, I know Simple Farmer's time is pressing. Give me a wave if you got a heart out, Simple Farmer. If so, we can get you back in here. Good, okay. Someone just said, caught strays in the DMs on supporting the Argonauts launch. During the NFT boom, I minted over 1,000 NFTs, and the majority of my profits went back to the ecosystem, supporting many artists, most of whom are no longer around. A healthy ecosystem has to exist for the art. Speaking of art, we have some fine art minting today as well, in addition to blockies. You got to generate some seeds. I'm getting the details. I've seen it. I caught it on the timeline. I've not generated any seeds, but we will we'll hit on that in a little bit. So we got to hit on and I don't even know what the collection's called. Naives. Manet is the artist, and so we got Manet is minting Naives today. And then obviously Blockies goes live here at 10 o'clock. Also, that just went live during the show. I meant to talk about it before 9 o'clock. In my head, I was thinking 10, so I thought I had an extra hour. But the Hibu presale did complete, and TGE occurred simultaneously as it came to a close. They raised 1.2 million, a little over 1.2 million in presale. Current put the closing FDV at 24 million. Try to get you a good chart view here. It opened as normal on a presale like this, and especially one where there's claims from allocation from Watch and Collect or Popkins. We saw a dump right as it opened. Again, I very normal for these sort of drops. Has recovered pretty quickly. There was a red candle, but it bounced back up. You'll see here it went from open to basically that 24 million, dipped down to 15-ish. And then as quickly recovered, it's back up now to basically where the presale ended, 22 million, little shy of it. It's lagging here on Dex Screener showing 18.6, but looks like it's right around 22 million right now. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll come back to that here in a bit. I just wanted, for those that, if in case there's anyone here that had allocation and you were hoping to exit quickly, it's live. So FYI, it's live. Just wanted to give the heads up there. That said, Poison, appreciate your patience. GM, what brought you up this morning?
Good morning, Captain. I wanted to touch on the bot thing before my main point, but like when I see bots now, like everything going on for the years I've been in here, it's just normal. It's like every day. As far as the agents go, that's obviously people trying to, they want to have an advantage, which I don't blame them for. The bots, I will say that in 2022, when we launched a free mint, because I like to try new things, it was destroyed, literally. And we're talking this was when ETH was high. As you guys know, the gas wars were insane. So we had an approach from somebody, you know, I won't say cabal, but we'll say cabal, about an offer, which I refused. And when I launched that for the community, it was literally minted out. We were like, I think the fastest minted project at that time. It was in under a second, 5,555 pieces gone. I had never seen anything like that before. Now, for me seeing that, that's normal, right? So I'm like, okay, that's just a normal thing. Now, back then, I had no idea. That's just my touch on the bot thing. But yeah, so I just wanted to say that big respect to everybody up here, Simple Farmer, NFT Drew, very cool people. And thanks for having me up. And, you know, I came into the crypto space first, into crypto, you know, personally, and then brought my business in 2022 and launched my first collection, which, you know, was at the time I was looking at NFTs and I'm like, I really don't know. Coming from crypto, I knew that they were a non-fungible token, but I really didn't understand what they were for. I didn't get the whole concept, you know, probably like new people that come in now. And then I really started looking at it and I'm like, yo, this is actually pretty unique. There is a blockchain, just like the tokens. There's something that can be done with it, right? There's plenty of room for innovation. There's things that can be done. And that's when I went from, you know, a little small 500 piece collection to a universe. And I'm always trying new things, and big up the people that are doing that, especially as an artist or a company. We need the innovation. Yeah, you know, sometimes I have noticed that I've sounded a little jelly sometimes. It happens, right? You know, you say, how come that wasn't me? But you got to just move on. You got to say, hey, you know, my time will come. You know, just keep pushing forward with innovation and trying new things. You know, we're building a TCG and other things. So I know you talk about RWAs in here a lot, and that's something that really I think is a big thing. And I was in the space with Gary yesterday, and the stuff he said is true, you know, and he is one of those that pushes on the RWAs. I remember speaking with him on the phone many years ago through a friend of mine before he got into NFTs or anything. And he was looking to make collectibles, and he hit the right mark with that. And big respect to him for that. I want to do the same thing. I came from the collectibles industry many years ago. I have a lot of experience in licensing in the actual collectible industry. And I'm going to apply that in here because the blockchain technology is there for it. It's there to be used. So let's use it wisely. And again, the NFTs are an industry, right? We may not think of it as that. I hear a lot more people calling it that. I've always been calling it that. It is an industry, just like toys, just like, you know, models, statues, everything. It is its own industry. And the better we treat it and the more things we do, right, the right way, organic, the more that this will change. It will turn into a fully viable industry that I think a lot of other big people will recognize. And that's when that will explode. That's just my thoughts on everything.
Yeah, no, I would very much agree. Grateful to be, I mean, and I've been in quote unquote tech industries my whole life, but tech being mostly consumer electronics. For those of you new to the show, built a phone repair franchise, or sorry, built a wireless franchise on the franchisee side, and then a phone repair franchise on the franchisor side. But very, you know, for multiple decades, very close to cutting, you know, new consumer electronic technology. While different tech, still exciting because there's almost always something new. But instead of a new handset every other month that has a few new features, or you could do some new stuff, it's so wide. The like, if people enjoy technology and new tech, especially, there's probably some experiment taking place on chain somewhere that you can get excited about. You can participate in and find your edge there because you're the, you know, the quote unquote expert. You know, you there's, whether if it's TCGs, if it's physical collectibles, if it's RWAs, if it's, you know, stocks, like there's almost something for everyone. And that, while it was already wider than say cell phones, it just continues to grow. And maybe my read's off, maybe it's not, but it feels to me like this most recent NFT season has really, you know, sprung forward the different types of innovation taking place on chain. Shout out again to Simple Farmer for kicking off and starting the RWA, the tokenized stock. I need to find a better word than meta, but that's all I've got this morning.
Can I ask Farmer a question about that?
Go for it.
Farmer, if you're there, is there a way where with the 6551 you could have NFTs contain tokens, but that can only be claimed if the holder of the NFT perform certain actions or solve certain games or clues. So effectively, like they're locked until basically gamifying the unlocking of the tokens within the NFT. Is that like theoretically possible for someone to build?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, Stockbroker already does that partially. That's why it's kind of like an upgrade from InfoFi. The rewards people are getting for holding stockbrokers are marketing rewards. So essentially, you have to say clock in or stockbrokers at some point on the timeline. And that, that the rewards are derived from that for marketing, and users are incentivized to market. You could plug in like a backend that's reading any type of API or database for whatever your Web2 game is, and also feed it into that process too. Yeah, that's definitely doable. I think people with the NFT wallet process are overthinking some things a little bit. I think more of the core components of the NFT having its own wallet serve to establish like a value base that accrues over time. They can maybe serve to establish like an agentic EOA that can trade in the long-term future. Right now, I wouldn't touch anything that promises AI trading on chain. None of the LLMs are good enough to execute it at a high level right now. Just my opinion.
To that very point, I commented or liked a couple posts recently where it was, I think it was specifically Grokbot that was someone had prompted it, and community notes. Every one of those that I've commented on in the last, or even liked in the last week or whatever, community notes I got the DM from community notes now. It says these were fabricated screenshots or video grabs. This isn't real. This isn't capable yet. It's funny you say that because I got one this morning, and it wasn't anything like, I don't even think I reposted. I just liked it. And I maybe bookmarked it to come back to later. And before I give you that, community notes let me know that this is just someone trying to engagement farm off of fake videos.
Yeah, I mean, look, this whole thing is even with the way that normies are essentially played when things get listed on centralized exchanges. Right now on chain, it's so hard to get on chain that we're essentially trying to sell paintings to blind people. And everybody's focused on being louder and yelling at the blind person louder, instead of being focused on how do you fix their vision? How do you maybe invent Braille or open some doors and windows, right? Figure out a better transmission system for user to context, for potential investor to context. In the meantime, we've been so isolated on this island of on-chain traders that we've been overtaken essentially by negative actors, because spaces of limited liquidity, just like small towns, just like the Wild West, they're easily corruptible because certain people can push narrative or they can push their own things for their own financial benefits. The more we bring more people into crypto and the more it's easier to trade within crypto and people have better context for the data, we'll get less crime, less corruption, less scams. And so we don't have to be the on-chain police. We don't have to post about it on Twitter. All we have to do is give better access to the trading rails and the information that's already available. Blockchain was already built to beat corruption.
I need to figure out how I can work in we're selling art to blind people. That's I don't know how I'm going to use that, but I definitely plan to use that in the future. It can be another thing someone copies that you've done that you can take as flattery. A couple quick interjections just because I've seen some questions in the chat. Swats says project should start using Raffle for early adopters, pre-sale and early access. Like, hey, I was a big fan of Gas Wars. I like games of skill. That said, I'm not anti-Raffle, and in some cases, I think they could be used more often. It's hard to argue. It's probably the most fairest way to do things. May not end up being your best base of holders or collectors or supporters because it's random, but maybe you curate a list of allow list participants and then they're in a raffle. I don't know if that's been done yet, but the question got brought up, I think, due to this block easement today, which it goes live in about 14 minutes. Unless, and someone can, I apologize, we went too long. We lost TMA. He's on the team here, and they're going live here in 14 minutes, so he had to run. But they sold, I think, 25% of the collection by way of pre-sales, and then the live mint, the 7,500 that remain, it's a pure raffle. So yes, so it was 1,750 that were sold in pre-sale, 750 went to the team, and then the remaining 7,500 are going into this raffle. It's 0.03 per mint. You can enter as many times as you want. So if you enter 0.3 ETH, that would be you could theoretically you could get up to 10 mints. Realistically, unless they don't get 7,500 sold, you're not going to get your 10 mints. If they, I can't do the math this yet, but let's just say they raise enough for 15,000 mints. Statistically, you're probably going to get half of what you put in. So what I don't know, does anyone know, whether on stage or in the chat, how long the raffle is staying open? That's what I wanted to ask. That's what I wanted to ask TMA, is how long, because it's not a rush, because it is a raffle. It does say, winners are selected using fair, verifiable raffle mechanism. That's one thing I said I would request. If we're going to do raffles, please put it on chain. Like, the technology exists today. Shout out to Derp. And to that, go ahead, Simple Heart, because I was going to ask, like, if someone wants to utilize Derp for their raffle mechanics, is it just, and I apologize, I need to get Mac on the show. We've talked about it multiple, he's been on the show, but I owe him a full proper interview. But is that self-serve, or do you need to DM Mac and set up an account? Like, how, if someone wanted to use Derp for their raffle mechanism for like an NFT mint like this, how does that work? Or what next steps should they take?
It's self-serve, it's permissionless for Derp, and Blockies is using Chainlink VRF, so it's also confirmed random, and you get a refund essentially if your raffle doesn't hit. Perfect.
No, thank you for that. So yeah, if you mint 10 and 5 of them hit, you get your 5 for 0.03 ETH each, and then the other remainder that gets refunded. The 0.15 is refunded back to you. So I'm going to keep an eye on it. I don't know how long it runs. If anyone knows, let us know. There'll be a leaderboard available. I could see him doing some fun stuff with that. But the Blockies teams, but we had them on the show here, had a good interview with them. They've been around for a while, and they've worked with most of the pre-sales were existing. They came from existing Web3 communities like Quirkies, like Good Vibes Club, where they had done a Blockies. Vinyl toy. I shouldn't call it a toy, but I don't know what else to call it. A toy.
So it's a digital collectible. Sorry, it's a physical collectible.
Yes.
It's a high value physical collectible.
Designer collectibles. That's the word I was looking for, that they called it. Designer high-end collectible. They're high quality. You can see they've done a lot of collaborations from tokens to CoinGecko rather, to other NFT brands. And so they're around. Unless I'm mistaken, you don't necessarily get a designer collectible with your NFT, but I do expect, so every Blockies holder becomes part of the story. On-chain provenance, preserving culture, built for collectors. You'll have access, input on what moments, movements. So you'll basically be able to kind of governance in a sense, like help work together what other communities, things they do next. Collectible grade sculpt, paint, and packaging crafted without compromise. I can't remember. Does this NFT come with a physical Blockies or no? Does anyone know?
No. So I'll give you some details. So it doesn't come with a physical, but what the team is trying to do, basically, they're building a lot of lore and storytelling around the NFT and content, and that's going to eventually, the long-term goal is to bridge into the physical world with all sorts of content that can be shared, and then the physical collectibles are sort of an extension of that, that you'll be able to sort of participate. I don't know if there'll probably be some announcements around this, but I don't know if there'll be ways to sort of get preferences to buy these collectibles, the physicals, if you have the NFTs. I'm assuming the team is thinking through that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a whole set of things outside of the NFTs themselves. There's a whole set of things that they're doing in the physical space with content. I mean, we saw Evo yesterday, today closing, right? There's a lot they're doing around that space, and they have a lot of experience in getting content on some of the mainstreaming services. And so there's going to be some integration and linkages between the NFT storytelling, the lore, right? Content in the traditional space, and then these high value collectibles.
Yep. And I know I keep probably over disclaimering this, but I didn't hard shield Stonkburgers enough when we had Simple Farmer on and leading into that mint. And I feel kind of bad because I could have encouraged more people to mint than I did. I wasn't fully convinced that NFT season 3 was here yet, that it had arrived. I didn't in my wildest dreams expect that to have such a rapid rise to the floor prices it has and the token price it has. I'm not saying Blockies is going to do that. I don't know. Don't ever put any money in you can't afford to lose. If you're going to mint this thing today, mint it being with the understanding you'd be okay if it goes from 0.3 to 0.01 tomorrow or 0.03 to 0.001 tomorrow. That said, not only is the team solid, not only they've been active in the space and collaborated with many of the leading brands over years, they also, I mean, TMA runs an alpha group. Like he's a market mover. And we'll see. We'll see what kind of volume the raffle gets, but I think this one will do pretty well. Just as I thought the mint yesterday would do pretty well. But please don't just ape into it because we did lose Simple Farmer, but I wanted to show, this just came out. Adam shared this a few minutes ago. I think more exciting than wallets or active traders is RWA trading volume through the roof. 100 million in daily volume on Robinhood chain alone yesterday. Bananas. 113 million. 89 million in stock trading, 17 million with meme coin and stock pairs, 5 million of ETFs and treasuries, and 1.3 million of commodities. 113 million in just a day of on-chain trading. Guys, Robinhood chain launched a little over a month ago. Most people aren't even maybe I think I've onboarded one friend who's now trading on Robinhood chain, but it's definitely not all the normals. Maybe some. Quag jumped up on stage. I'd seen Quag in the comments. Did not realize it's a rebrand of Burry Lurkin. Burry or Quag. Am I saying it right? Quag?
Yeah, it's Quag. Right now it's Quag, dude. It's like my West Coast version of Quag.
Okay.
But thanks for having me up, Chris.
Always a pleasure.
Long-time fan. The 3 seasons got me running through a wall. The ecosystem Simple Farmers got me running through a wall. I was kind of just chilling on dinosaurs and family death. Had a cousin reach out to me who's he's like a cracked salmon fisher. This guy just pulls fish up. So I was like, oh, you want to sell some salmon lures? And I was like, yeah, dude, I buy things, so I can source these and I'll flip them. And then this ecosystem came out and I was like, this kind of makes sense. And then I just started layering things in. And then I was like, hey, what do we name this? And I was like, well, there's fish. And then let's give people free fish and Web3 fish. So then you get this 6551 component to it. So you get this kind of cooler aspect. Some of the stuff the internet says I shouldn't talk about right now, but there's multiple seasons that are kind of planned with this, and I'm in the middle of closing some partnerships. So we're taking a few pages from all of the NFT books that I've been reading over the years and trying to mirror them together and just give it out for free and see if it hits. So part of that will be this blind box experience with these salmon lures that are UV charged to be activated anyway. So we're going to try and level up the blind box.
I love it, dude.
Experience. So that's what's the horizon is planned. And if you guys are interested, I'm trying to just give it out to people that have been in the community and support the communities that have stuck around. And it's Feesh, FEESH .fish, just Feesh.fish.
I was about to ask, when you were talking about your salmon lures, I was going to ask when salmon lures on chain, talking about RWAs, and I had seen the fee fish. I'm slow. And maybe it was the rebrand to Quag. Maybe I don't know. I hadn't put two and two together that it was actually you behind fee fish because I hadn't seen it on my timeline. You said you're giving them away. What help me connect the dots? What exactly are, for those that are interested?
So this is kind of how my thought process went, right? Like, so you've got these stockbrokers and yard keepers and chain mancers, and you get them, right? And then you can go and activate them, and they're paired with that token, right? And so I was like, that's fun. These are cool. But if you look at the yard keeper's art, it makes me want to fart and smell it in my hand. And so I was like, that's gross. Can we make this better? So I started off with I think there's like about 1,300 fish that are in the collection. These are actual fish that mostly my cousin caught and I caught. And then we've taken a little nod to our partner references, and we've activated the fish. So you get fully Web3 version activated fish. Once you get to level 4 and you start getting drip, and then multiple seasons, different things will start to kick in.
Sorry, I didn't know how to.
Funding, and hopefully by then sales channels will be dialed. So exciting stuff if everyone gets involved, and it's free fish. So
my apologies. I did not mean to come over top you there. I activated the fish inadvertently that I did not know. It took me a minute to figure out how I could unactivate or stop the music.
My bad. Yeah, my site's a little chaos. That's kind of how my brain is. So sound on, and if you're at work, I'm sorry. You should.
All good. I dig it. I just didn't. I feel bad. I should know by now of my clicking around while someone else is speaking, but I felt bad. I came over top of you there. So I basically connect a wallet, and then I can, what's leaving in 26 days? What's that? What's the September 22nd date? What is that?
So it's the boat's leaving, dog. I mean, the fish they're only biting for a little bit. So if you're not on boat, it's leaving. We're gonna cut the feed off you. So these boat slips, you can connect your wallet, and if you have a code that has an activated deed on it, you can go and reserve your deed on a first come basis. And then after that, we'll have a queue. And once the boat leaves the dock, you can go out on the market. We'll try and get trying to work through what if you miss the boat, there's a 15-minute window for other people to pick them up, or did you just snipe out of the anvil? I haven't fully vetted that out yet, but right now I'm just trying to get some boat slip deeds into the people's hands that I know are they're participateurs and want to play with the tech and build some IRL stuff. So that's what we're trying to do.
Good stuff, man. I appreciate the experimentation. Appreciate you coming up and sharing. I will dive a little more into it later today. But yeah, I mean, this is exactly what I was talking about. Like, did I think we were going to be talking about salmon lures today on Coffee with Captain? No, but I'm really excited about the experimentation. If you want to talk about, I did not think we'd be having salmon lures or fish lures, or that was not even in my brain space. But my biggest takeaway from Burry sharing there was he was doing something in real life. He was making these lures, 3D printing lures for his cousin, uncle, who's the fisherman.
It's my cousin. Yeah, you think I'm a little crazy? I'll show some of these videos I have coming out. It's got some of just the unfiltered version of my cousin, which is pretty comical. So, yeah, it's it's two level degen at sea, and then Quagbot. So.
I love it, dude. So you join this. He catches wind of stockbrokers, this ecosystem, all that's going on. He's like, hey, I want to build something in here. If there is, let's just take it at face value. There is 100,000 active traders just on FOMO alone. Let's say there's 100. We'll just say there's 100,000 active participants in this space. I believe you're probably the only person bringing fish lures on chain, if I were to guess at this time.
Got to be a little different,
Mm-hmm.
when the fleet is up north, you got to get to the secret hole and go down south and get the big dog. You know what I'm saying?
I do, man. I do. In fact, I've got a lake in my backyard, pond, depends on what part of the country you're from, but I've not fished in it yet. I may, holy moly. I'm going to show you the screen because it distracted me. But I may see if I can go get some worms or something, and I may see if there's any fish in there today. I might go fishing. You've inspired me.
Dang.
The hard pivot, but the Blockies raffle did go live, and I saw it go from like, I don't know, less than 1,000 to 5,600 like that. It is already, I mean, it went live a minute ago. It's already oversubscribed. So I think I would just say this. I don't know. This thing could be 0.001 ETH floor price tomorrow. I would be surprised. I think it's highly likely that these trade, it may not 10x, it may not even 2x. I would be shocked if it's trading on the secondary market below 0.03 when you have 2 minutes into the raffle, there's 10,500 entries out of the 7,500 slots. So in 2 minutes, it's already oversubscribed 141%, and it's live for another 23 hours and 59 minutes. It's going to cook. It is going to cook. I agree with Dort. So teach their own. If you got 0.03 in your wallet, probably don't. I don't know. Maybe it is a good use of your last 0.03, but I was not expecting it to be this over allocated this fast. It's up to 12,000 now for those that aren't watching the video. Sorry for the distraction. Sorry for the hard pivot there. I just saw that and I was a little surprised. Yeah, timing's perfect and all the right people pushing it. So this is going to keep an eye on, and not to pat ourselves on the back, but I'm definitely patting myself on the back and taking a victory lap. I haven't said this so far. I'm going to miss someday, but so far in NFT season 3, we're batting 1,000. Any NFT mint we've talked about on this show prior to mint they may all still be up for mint price, but even if not, you've had an opportunity to flip them all for a profit. This is going to be your next one, I believe. I could be wrong. So I'm not a financial advisor, certainly not your financial advisor. So don't listen, don't act on what I say. I'm just telling you what I'm going to be doing is going to be, now I'm going to be minting more than a few because I want to get at least one. I'd like to get a few. And if I went 3 and I put in 3 raffle entries, I'm probably not getting 3 at this point. So yeah, Dort says, people pushed in like 5 ETH a pop. I don't know how I feel about this sort of raffle when it gets so oversubscribed. I guess I'm cool with it. I guess it's certainly better than it's not a gas war anymore. It's a bot war on some of this stuff. Like had they just went live without a raffle, these 7,500 already sold, and maybe you get lucky and get a manual mint through, but I doubt it. You probably lose out to the bots. It's the game has changed. I'm the boomer now, still minting things manually. It used to be like you had an edge if you knew how to mint on contract, which I knew how to do that, but I've not built an agent or bot to go out there and mint things on my behalf, and I need to learn. That's like, if anyone's done this and is willing to share, I'd love to schedule. If it's a service you're selling free of charge, I'd love to schedule you on the show. I'd like to validate it first and make sure it's legit. But if anyone knows anyone that's building minting bots, I'd appreciate an introduction and connection, because I need to learn. And I think if this season continues for a while, which I think it will, I think it's a great skill to learn right now. Not only that, not only a great skill to learn for NFT mints, it's a transferable skill, right? Like not specifically NFT mints, but building an agent that's going to go transact for you on the internet, on blockchain. That's a transferable skill set that you're going to be able to use elsewhere. And so, yeah, long story short, if anyone knows anyone that's either built it as a service, like minting bots as a service, or can do it manually, onesie, twosie, and would like to share, please let me know. Actually, forget that. I mean, yes, would have you on free of charge and let you highlight your service. My goal now, I just in real time thought this, one of our next partners, I would like to find a sponsor to do, like, this is a perfect sponsor, because it's something I believe in. The concept, I don't know any names right now to single out, but we find a good one that's trusted and does a good job. I'd love to partner up. I'd love to do an ongoing campaign, because it's something I'm going to talk about every time there's a mint that's not a raffle. And so it's something and while I like to pride ourselves on that, we do believe in anyone we partner up with. We say no, and we don't take on everyone. But especially when we talk about longer term campaigns, it's brands, it's protocols that we not only believe in myself, but something that I feel would be helpful for all of you. And I think a bot service, yeah, like, hey, you pay it as Dort here, you pay it at the service a flat fee from your flip profits as a tip, so you're not banned from using it again. Yeah, there's definitely something here. So yeah, if anyone is in the know, please connect me, tag them in the chat. Tut's agents, that's a great idea. I will I'll get in touch with Tut. Great call, Mayhem. And Tut actually has a mint coming up, so maybe we can do some sort of cross marketing share there. We'll see if we can get Tut on the show to talk about his agent program. We'll sell some Tut agents, and in return, we'll see if we can get some allow list for our audience. He's also doing, I think we may steal this for the Coffee with Captain, and I like it. The mechanic he's doing at Mint is, and Simple Farmer can validate. I shared this early on. His Mint mechanic, it's like a pack rip. So you're minting a pack, and then reveal, instead of going and refreshing your metadata in OpenSea, you're opening your pack, and that's your NFT. I know there's an NFT, not Flare. Flare does the gotcha machine, but there's one that's launching on Solana that is its own specific pool. So that's how the NFTs are being minted. They're all going into a gotcha mechanic, you RNG, and you pull the one you want. If you want to recycle it for a little lesser fee, you can. If you want to take the one you get, you can. But whether it's a gotcha or a pack rip, I think we might see a few more of those this cycle. Unitium, new to the stage. Welcome. What brought you up this morning? GM.
Yeah, hey, good morning. Yeah, thank you for letting me up. Yeah, so the reason I wanted to talk is you guys had talked some in this conversation about how to bring normies in and just make the space more accessible, whether NFT or cryptos. And that's a big part of the whole design of our project. And so these are really important topics to me. And I'm one of the founders of Unitium. My name is Aaron, and so we use video to make crypto feel like something that people can relate to, that they can understand and see happening in the real world. So we do charity videos and film it and put these on social media. And because video content is something that everybody understands and it's real world, it's a way to make blockchain technologies feel like there's something tangible. Whereas, a lot of this stuff, it's so, I don't know, a lot of stuff can be hard to understand for people who who have not been in the space for years, like most of us have. And so we wanted to create something that would be easy to onboard normies and make it relatable and interactive. And one way that we've done that too is we allow our token holders, once the project token drops anyway, we allow our holders to vote on what content we make. And we're doing charity specifically. Another element too that might be relevant for you guys is networking with other projects. So we want to have other NFT and crypto project founders out if they're willing to be doxxed and do videos with us and cross exposure to each other's audiences. And it's just a way to paint crypto and blockchain and NFTs as a whole in a positive light, so that it becomes something that feels like a real thing. And I think that's the biggest thing for most people who are not in the space, is just the ephemeral sort of feel of crypto. They don't understand it. They don't know what to do with it. It doesn't feel like it's in the real world. So that's one way that we're sort of solving these challenges and getting crypto and blockchain into the mainstream world.
Cool. Appreciate you coming up and sharing. And again, loving the experimentation taking place on chain, off chain. Exciting time to be here. Appreciate everyone who's tagging Smoke and Jay tagged Dayad NFT regarding mint bots. So Mayhem mentioned Snipe, which I used to have one of Quit's passes that at the time, I don't know if it was sniping. It was sniping, actually. It was sniping floors. Long story short, we kind of entered a bear and got away from, I just wasn't trading that many NFTs throughout the depths of the bear, and at least wasn't sniping floors and stuff based on traits. But yeah, appreciate all the recommendations there. I'm definitely gonna get in touch with Tut, see what he's doing. Smoke and Jay, I'll check out your tag, your recommendation there. And last but not least, I'm you know what, I'm going to take this raffle for blockies as another proof of priors, or confirm my priors that NFT season is very much alive and underway. This went live 12 minutes ago and it's already over allocated 300%. Here in a second, it'll be 23,000 entries against the 7,500 entries. Just bananas. I mean, it's incredible. Congratulations to the team and anyone involved there. But yeah, blowing me away. I was expecting it to do well. Was not expecting it to do this well. The other collection, and then I'll share this, and then we'll get you all out of here today. Appreciate everyone who tuned in and added value on the stage as well as in the comments. From Ethereum Classic to salmon lures. I don't know, man. Find another space that you can have that kind of range in one space. I don't know. If you can find it, let me know, because I will tune in. But it's not me. I can't take credit for the salmon lures to from salmon lures to Ethereum Classic. It's all you co-creators here, co-producers helping us with the content. Greatly appreciated. The other one I wanted to give some attention to today, or that I'm watching, I may participate, is Manay's. We mentioned earlier, MANNAY is his X feed, and this Naives is what is minting today. If you're a fan of drawn faces with JavaScript, this might be for you. The generator is live. You can play with and find your naives until the Mint Pass sale goes live. How it works, you log in, you create your outputs, favorite your favorite ones, and then list on the seed marketplace, which I still don't understand how that works, because you don't actually, how are you selling it before you're actually minting it? I don't understand it fully, but you can go in, you can play around, you can generate some. If you like ones that you generate, save it. And then once the Mint Pass goes live, which is at $11 so here in 45 minutes, the Mint Pass goes live. There's going to be 10,000 of these that are selling for just $10 each. And once you have a Mint Pass live, then you can, I guess, mint some of the naives that you either you created or others created. I'm probably making it more complex than it is. I just haven't. I saw it. It's caught my attention. Oh, 11 a.m. is for holders. For his current holders. When do you know when public sale goes live, Dort? Yeah, all the seeds you create are saved, but you should favorite the ones you want, you think are dope. Pre-sale. So here we go. I answered my own question. All existing Monet collectors, they can mint this Mint Pass from 11 a.m. to 12:30, 10 mints per wallet. Dort, do you think there's a chance it mints out during pre-sale, or will it make it to, so pre-sale 1 is for his holders, collectors, existing holders. Pre-sale 2 is for holders of select work. Those works include CryptoPunks, art blocks, excuse me, Grailers, BRT moments, Crypto Citizens, Grifters, V-Friends, issues, KYC from Jack Butcher, Masks of Lukey, Cities, Small Apes, Pudgies, Nakamigos, Meebits. Hopefully they have, do you happen to know if Delegate works, Dort? If Delegate works, Brain Rot, Human Resources, Normies, Point Holders, Meebits, and more. So yeah, if you hold any of these collections, you're in phase 2. That goes from 1 to 2:30, and then public sale starts at 2 p.m. Wait. So a little bit of overlap there. That's not right. The time must be wrong. Because it says 6 to 7:30 BST, which is 1 to 2:30, but then at 8 p.m. BST, it says 2 p.m. So one of those times is wrong, or the conversion to Eastern time zone is wrong. But just know that I'll just find out. 8 p.m. BST to EST is, oh, it's a daylight savings time error. That's why. So it's 3 p.m. Eastern. It would be 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but it's 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So we're in the period where we get the Brits get, I get confused. The Brits get confused. We both get confused because we do daylight saving, at least for now. I think it's ending. I don't really know. I haven't followed, but they don't. So long story short, if I'm understanding correctly, pre-sale 2 will end at 2:30 Eastern Daylight Saving Time or Eastern Daylight Time. And then at 3, it says 2, I don't know. Pre-sale is going live today. I do know that. The first pre-sale goes live at 11 a.m. Eastern, and then 1 p.m. Eastern looks like will be pre-sale 2. I'm guessing it's 3 p.m. Eastern is when public goes. Dorda, that list of partner collections or pre-sale 2, do you know which one might be the cheapest floor off the top of your head? Or anyone for that matter? Chromie Squiggle. It's not just any art blocks, it's a squiggle. Bright Moments, it's Crypto Citizens. X Copy, it's a grifter. I'm guessing VFriends 1. He doesn't say that, but I'm guessing it's the OG VFriends. KYC's like 0.1-ish, I think. Batsu's memes, Dark Fire. Here's the other thing. Monet, I don't hold any Monet art yet, but you look at this list, and now some people might just allow lists notable collections because. For me, when I see it's not just, and I'm glad they're inclusive of apes and Pudgies and Meebits and the PFP brands, VFriends. From an art standpoint, CryptoPunks, etc. Like those are like, oh, cool. You're doing a allow list collections. Those, not always, but makes sense that those are included. Where my antennas go up is when it's a lot of other collectors. I see our guy Dort, who Dort probably holds half of these. Like it's likely that the people who mint this are different, not the exact profile, but maybe similar to those that minted ACK yesterday. Art appreciators, collectors, not just flippers. And it's also very unique, different mechanics. So they got my attention. I will probably participate in this one as well. Definitely going to fire some entries into the Blockies raffle. I'm going to do a little more research, make sure Delegate Wallet works. If not, I might go buy a low cost one. And we did just get breaking news. Shout out to Shockerman Dan. Looks like Simple Farmer airdropped some game stonk to some Stonkbroker holders. It doesn't look like all. He didn't launch it. He just bought some himself and then airdropped it. So it's not an official token, but it's just a little perk he provided. But I checked my broker wallets. There's none in there. It looks like Dan said the same thing. Oh, but his wasn't activated. Dan, why don't you activate your broker? Mine are activated, but I did not get that airdrop, which I'm not complaining. I'm just sharing. Don't feel bad if you didn't get it. Speaking of that ecosystem, one thing I meant to give love to earlier today and I did not is Chainmancers, and not just giving love because the floor price ran back up. It's pulled back a little bit from where it did run up to, but it's still up 52% on the day, up to 0.44 ETH. And I believe what is driving that is, I'm pretty sure that they're exiting beta. Maybe not today. And X search is very frustrating at times. Looks like Manser is 2 days ago said in the middle of our formal audit for our router and order contracts. Audit should be completed by the end of the week, and we'll open Manser to the public as soon as it's done. That was 2 days ago. Let me see if Slopfather has any other updates. Michael says, oh, also, we should have mentioned this when Simple Farm was here. For anyone that is in the ecosystem, or if you've been on the fence, maybe this will decide you to pull the trigger if you're on the fence and looking for another reason. Simple Farmer posted this last night, 8 p.m. My partner Adam Weitzman would like to host a dinner for stockbrokers on Wall Street in New York during NFT NYC week. Kid you not, I was full fading NFT NYC week, didn't want to travel to New York. I'm not a fan of NFT NYC, the conference. I've been a fan of side events, but there wasn't anything that's like, I was having FOMO over not going. I now have FOMO. Now I saw that like, man, I should look at flights to New York. I have a flight I've got flight credits, like a $1,200 flight credit I need to use by September or I lose it. So I may fly to New York just for this dinner. Mainly because I haven't had it in real life. I mean, I've had in real life, I've met Simple Farmer, Adam, I've a lot of people in the ecosystem, but I've not been to a Stoneworker meetup. And if what I've seen and experienced in a lot of other communities and collections like this holds true, where whatever you experience in group chats and online, it's like 10x in person when there's this builder energy and people working together and collaborating. I want to like to immerse myself in that. So yeah, I'm going to be looking at flights today. I may not make it. We'll see how it shakes out, but where I went from fully fading NFT NYC and NFT NYC week, I'm now going to be considering making the trip because I got FOMO over missing that dinner. Yeah. Good luck today. Stay safe out there. Maybe a couple other thoughts, but I'm going to hold them till tomorrow. We'll be back as always. 8:30. Jesus, what am I saying? 8 a.m. Eastern time. Today you might have thought it was 8:30, but no. 8 a.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday, including tomorrow. Fridays are also our Coffee with Captain Day. So we'll be doing a fun giveaway tomorrow. Someone's going to be pulling the BZ claw machine and have a chance to win a Grail RWA in there. And you can hit the reminder link. It's going to be pinned up all the way to the left up top. Go smash that reminder link. If you're watching over on YouTube or Abstract, before you head out, if you haven't already done so, smash that like and subscribe. Oh, we don't know what day dinner is either. Good call. We need to figure that out before I go book and travel. Mike did get his the GameStonk token. Congrats. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow at 8. Go hit those reminders up top. If you're looking for a space to continue, my guy Cheese is out there in the audience. Reality Check is live at 11 a.m. Eastern on this app. And looks like he's going to be talking Nightshade, doing a little recap on that. So if you're curious or wanted more details on the Meebits or Meebco and Stoneworker collaboration, Cheesus and crew will get you all up to speed on that. I'll pin the reminder link for that up top as well. But if you're going to hit Cheesus' reminder link, you got to hit the reminder link for Coffee with Captain tomorrow as well. Interns, we've gotten some previews of those. And I think that does all the major news updates, but I may have to start taking notes again. Actually preparing a daily docket because there's so much popping off that it's hard to keep up with. I've seen some FUD on the timeline. I'm not sure if it's warranted or not. It is not a special project, but they are going to be launching in the Stoneworker with the Stoneworker infra, in particular Anvil. This is Kashmir Labs. I say this like I'm checking myself. I don't know. I've not talked to the team. I did DM them, I think, and see if they wanted to come on to talk about it. But it is Kashmir Labs' autonomous monetary infrastructure incubated by Binance Labs, Circle grantee, built on Circle, and they're coming soon to Stoneworker Infra. They're launching an NFT collection called Goat Street, and it'll be utilizing the Anvil ecosystem. So they got some FUD because their team allocation originally was going to be like 4,400, and people were fudding that. And so they said with demand, well, they said due to demand, we've decreased it to like 1,600, I think. For those aren't familiar, that's how the anvil works. Like you have to seed the anvil with NFTs. Otherwise you're like, I don't know, and it's not DOA, but you're if you don't seed the anvil with, it's like seeding it with liquidity. Like it would be silly to launch a fungible token that doesn't have any liquidity in it. It's going to go to zero. So I don't know if the right number is 4,000. I don't know if the right number is 1,600, but fudding a project for holding back team supply so they can leverage the anvil, do a little bit of research. They've got to do that. I don't know the right number, but again, I've not talked to them. I've not done proper research. I just know it is also launching tomorrow at, what is when they say 1,500 UTC plus 3, what does the plus 3 mean? Because 1,500 is 10 a.m. Eastern time, but I don't know what plus 3 means. I'll do some more research. Thanks again for tuning in today. Appreciate you all. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. Have a great, great day, and we'll see you all tomorrow. I'm probably going to tune into Cheese the Space. We'll see you on there. Reality Check here at 11. And for everyone else, we'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Thanks again for everyone who participated today. Appreciate all the value add. Appreciate all the love on the space, as always. And all of our guest speakers. I won't name them because there was so many, but greatly appreciate you all. And we will be back tomorrow. Good luck in the Mint Streets today. Hope you pull a grail. Have a great one.